Hi, Pastor Tim from Calvary Chapel, Wellington again. Well, thanks very much for joining us on our 365 workout. It's the reading of the Scriptures throughout the entire year. We're going to start with the book of Genesis, but before we start any book, we give a brief synopsis of what that book is going to hold for us. So that way, when we're reading, you can look for certain key points. Well, here we go. The Pentateuch is the first of the 5 books of the Bible called Torah in the Hebrew Scriptures. Though we often call these books the Law, Torah does not mean law, but teaching. Basic to the Torah is the idea of the covenant. A covenant is an agreement. In the Bible, covenants are special because God is one of the parties to the covenant. Biblical covenants have 3 parts. 1. A statement about God's saving act, what God brings to the agreement. 2. A statement about what God expects from humanity in response. And 3. A sign or a symbol as a reminder of the covenant. The Torah is in part a record of God's covenant and the implications of the covenant for human life and society. Genesis begins with the creation, setting the covenant in the context of God's rule over the entire universe. The first covenant is with Adam and Eve, and through them with all humanity, and includes the understanding that human beings will be responsible stewards of all creation. The second covenant is with Noah, the promise that the world will never again be destroyed by a flood. Then the biblical account focuses on one particular person, Abraham, who enters into the covenant with God and is given the promise that he and his descendants will become a blessing to all humanity. Through the narratives dealing with Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob and Leah and Rachel and Joseph, the questions of faithfulness to the covenant and the hope for the fulfillment of God's promises take concrete form. Well, that's the brief synopsis of Genesis and, of course, what the first 5 books of the Bible are called, the Torah. Thank you very much and look forward to seeing you again on our next Bible reading.